You're listening to the Elevated News Podcast with two dope dudes. Here are your hosts, Dave and Aaron. Welcome to the Elevated News Podcast with two dope dudes. We're a podcast focused on discussing local and national cannabis news and culture. I'm Aaron.
I'm Dave.
This is Dave. We're the two dope dudes. What's going on, dude? How are you?
I'm pretty fantastic.
Awesome.
How are you?
I am elevated. Shout out to
you, man.
Okay.
Because I just got elevated from your growings, and you growing's good, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
You've heard me say it, and I've said it a bunch of times. Just bring me something that looks like this, homegrown. Show me some fire that looks like this shit. And I show him stuff, and he saw it consistently, and he brought me some stuff, and look at this. I'm like, holy shit, who did that? I did. I'm like, shut the fuck up. You did it, man. Like, you brought me some shit that looked like the shit that I like smoking, and it smokes great, and I'm impressed, God damn.
Thanks, bro.
God damn. All this stuff. Hey, listen, we got some, we'll get down there in a minute, but there's some shit. Listen to what he says and what we says about where to go. Hit the .coms and the .nets and just go in there and buy some of this shit, and then you can grow some good stuff.
Yeah.
God damn.
Or, reach out to me. I'll help you out.
That's it.
Yeah. So, cool, man. I just did something, but we'll get back to it.
We're in it.
Yeah,
there we go.
There's our little script of stuff we have to remember to say and talk about.
Run it up.
Yeah, run it up. You can find us, the Elevated News Podcast, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all your other favorite streaming podcast apps. Two Dope Dudes YouTube channel. Please give us a like and leave a review and subscribe. This helps us reach more people.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. You can find us and other things on other community events on supportdopepeople.com, along with links to the other pods that we do and free stickers just by giving us your email and address. And you can also buy shirts there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should do that.
Yeah.
Buy shirts and leave us your email and address, and we'll send you stickers.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. Cannabis stickers.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm Aaron.
And I'm Dave, and we're the two dope dudes. We're here to tell you about the Crop Culture Box, where you get a curated selection of quality grow items and seeds to help you plant with a purpose.
Use our code 2DOPEDUDES for $10 off any box, $100 or more for new customers. Get the Goat Holiday Box and check out their selection of seeds too.
That's cropculture.net. Use the code 2DOPEDUDES.
Then Dave.
Oh, you can also check out www.mrcbdchicago.com. Use the code 2DOPEDUDES for 10% off. That is TWO Dope Dudes. Mr. CBD has all of your CBD offerings, including... Does he have this in stock right now?
Yes, this is in stock
Look at
right
that.
now.
That is the HOB barbecue sauce.
Garlic Parmesan.
Ooh, garlic Parmesan. 100 milligrams. Great stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, go to MrCBDChicago.com. Two Dope Dudes, TWO. And then also, if you'd like to, I think this is what this man was talking about earlier, what I was talking about earlier, the Green Grow, GRO.com. Use the code 2DOPEDUDES, that is TWO, for 10% off your order as well.
And then, I believe this should be next week, or in a couple weeks, the Illinois rosin competition at Blue Island on the south side of Chicago. Shout out to Bob's Exotics and Prairie Grass Selections. It's going to be a fun time. Probably sold out. You may be able to get tickets. You better check.
Bingo.
Yeah, bingo, bango.
Yeah. Also, if you don't mind, on Thursday nights, come hang out with me on YouTube. Peace, love, and cope. We're just talking cannabis. Last week was a good one. I wish y'all were there for that. I had some fun. But we went off we're talking cannabis, and then some people helps them feel better. I don't know. I love that fucking community. Come be part of it.
Yep.
That's it.
Community, that's what's important.
Yeah.
Everything else is just noise. Sometimes you have to remember that.
Get down, sometimes it's validating to be around people who are also going through some same shit as you.
Yeah.
And then you realize, because I think that's really the thing that underlying, just like I always have it in the back of my mind. I watch so many medical cannabis patients come through that were actually sick, some of the worst conditions. Those were the only people qualifying at the beginning of the cannabis program and shit. It just, there's always somebody who has it worse. And, people in that, like, just if you have that perspective of things could be shittier, why not just be the shining light that somebody needs sometimes,
Yeah.
Pass a smile along, friends.
It doesn't cost you anything to be kind,
No.
right? Is that
No, and
isn't
actually,
that something people say?
I feel like it's probably more rewarding. I used to say it a lot of times when I worked in the cannabis industry, that having the conversations, and I mean it, having the conversations with the people that I sat across from meant more to me than the paycheck at the end of the week a lot of times. Don't get me wrong, I know that's what we go to work for, is a paycheck, whatever, but it meant so much more to be able to be there when the person needed you to be there, regardless of what it's for. So just, always know there's somebody there for you. Never feel left alone. Get part of the communities that make sense. Cannabis is a beautiful community filled with beautiful people. You find some passion in there and just kind of stick to it. Nothing else really matters,
Yeah. That's the great thing about it.
Yeah, we could plug that with, and nothing else matters. Anyway.
It's all right. Are we gonna do Unmasked?
What's that?
Where you ain't seen that show where they're like the famous people are like dressed up as
Oh, they get into costumes and then they sing.
Yeah.
You think they'll let us on there?
No, probably not. Maybe you.
Oh, okay.
You have the tried out for what, American Idol, right?
Yeah, that's right. They didn't take me.
I mean, their loss.
Yeah. Heck it. They'd have had a big guy singing Celine Dion. That's all I know.
Yeah. I mean, that seems the type of thing you would do.
Yeah. I actually really want to be a Tracy Chapman cover band.
Really?
Yeah, when I was younger, that was like kind of one of my bigger aspirations. I just could never get the band together. I know the lyrics. I'm a solo act at this point.
I mean, I would have seen you more doing like Elvis impersonation.
Yeah. But that's the point, You throw people a curveball, you come out looking like Elvis, but you start singing Tracy Chapman. And there's some real good messages
You could be
in there.
Elvis Tracy Chapman.
Ooh.
I mean, if you really wanted to, you could have gotten it together.
Ooh. I was just thinking about, does Elvis have a last name?
Elvis Aaron Presley?
Elvis Presley.
Elvis Aaron Presley, the king of rock and roll?
Jeez. Presley.
I mean, I've been there.
Done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I went on my wife and I went on our honeymoon. We went to Memphis. We had a grand time. It was the best.
I went to his birth house.
Oh, in Tupelo?
Yeah, Tupelo.
Yeah.
It's a tiny little
It's very
farm.
small.
Holy shit, is it small?
Yeah. It's nothing. He came from nothing.
Yeah, absolutely nothing.
I mean, we all come from nothing.
Oh, from whence you came, you shall remain until you are complete to gain.
We don't really have any comments for episode 27. I had to re-upload this because I was lazy and I didn't use my headphones when editing and forgot to turn on the stereo setting, and so I fixed that. But again,
nice.
Part of doing this is just teaching myself how to edit as well.
Nice.
Because we just do this to do this. You know what I mean? Like, we're not.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're just you're passionate about. Well, we're both passionate about people getting help medicinally with cannabis, and I'm passionate about helping people grow their own medicine and use it medicinally.
Yeah,
so,
it can get lost sometimes in the in me talking about Tracy Chapman and shit. But at the same time, that is the underlying fact of this whole thing, is that I care about people using this plant to feel benefited medicinally. And medical is, it starts with your head All right. For me, it's always where's your head at? So the psychological part, even the fuck it all that a lot of us consume cannabis with a consistency for that kind of comfortable feeling, whatever. That is a medicinal use of this plant. It is just understanding why you might be doing it and then properly executing so that you're not misusing and then ultimately you could, like we've talked about, you could harm yourself, You get that hyperemesis.
Yeah.
Don't do that. It's like very few people in the world that do that.
Right.
But yeah. I do know somebody directly now. Yeah. And so, hey, let me help you use this thing if you need it.
But yeah, but I fixed it right away after somebody let me know on the other upload that it sounded like it was
that
only
Gear Bear down there?
left side audio or left side mono. So sorry about that. I will try and do better. There's a hemp
district Next
dispensary in London.
Oh yeah, okay.
Haven't been there. At least there is that. I got a way to get a med card and come north.
Yeah,
I don't. Okay.
Yeah.
Gary,
So
you're awesome.
Yep. He's down in Kentucky where they don't have things all in place for a medical license, but they do have hemp laws down there. And I do believe that if you have a hemp dispensary, my guesstimation is at this point they are selling THCA flower, which is flower. It's not, you can go to the hemp place and get you can get hemp THCA. It's
there's no difference.
Yep.
So let's just get to some news. We just want to bring you some news and shout out to all the people that we shout out. Like our plugs are people in the community that we believe in, and we're just trying to help them get the word out because we believe in them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, fucking A.
Cool.
Yeah.
Here's some interesting news. Illinois Supreme Court hears arguments whether cannabis aroma alone is probable cause to search a vehicle. This was
So I told you earlier I had something to talk to you about. It is clearly this conversation here. I was pulled over this week, a couple of days ago. I got it in my pocket, I'll tell you. I got me the old warning. All right. It ended up being a warning. But let me tell you how this thing played out. It was fucking wild, bro. All right. Was this 13th?
Yeah.
So Sunday maybe might be the day. Anywho, I get pulled over Sunday. I'm leaving the Walmart parking lot. I take my left there, take my little right. I'm heading down the street. I have my phone in my hand right here, talking on speaker. All of a sudden, whoop, 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 cherries behind me. I'm like, oh, fuck. Get off the phone. I pull over, whatever. This lady approaches my window and says, hey, do you know what I pulled you over for? I said, no, I have no clue. And I thought it was the phone, but you always say no. Be smart. So she says, well, you didn't use your turn signal coming out of the Walmart back there. And I said, oh, really? And then I said, really? Because I was like, what the fuck are you pulling me over for that for? Whatever. Anyway, this is what they're doing. She goes, yeah, did you forget? And I was like, what? No. What are you talking about? Do you have drugs in the car? And I was like, wait, what? Do you have cocaine in the car? That is, and I'm not exaggerating. That's the fucking next words out of this lady's mouth. And I was like, wait, no. What are you talking about? Do you have any heroin in the car? And I was like, what the fuck is happening here? I said, what is going on? Did you pull me over because I didn't fucking turn my turn signal on or something else? What the fuck? So then she goes, do you got any marijuana in the car? I said, no. What in the, is everything all right? Get out. And I was like, what? Are you literally pulling me out of the car right now? And she ripped my door open, bro. Yoink.
That's crazy.
Pulled the fucking door open.
They can do what they want.
Bro.
Legalized violence.
Strong arm, fucking
yep.
pistols on their fucking sides. So she goes, yeah, get out of the car. And she's starting to get fucking aggressive, bro, grabbing at her fucking belt. So you just fucking move along, whatever. I get out of the fucking car. You're going to do what you do. I don't have fucking anything in the car. I have nothing. She said, what were you doing? I pointed to the pink drink sitting in my fucking middle cup holder. I picked it up. I'm like, I went to Starbucks. I'm literally going home. And she was like, all right, whatever. So she yoinks me out. Go stand by the front of my car. All right. So, I mean, I'll just tell you, fucking, I carry, and I was like, hey, before you start searching me, watch out for my left pocket. And the guy was like, oh, thanks for telling me, no problem. Yeah. Oh, she gets all aggressive. I'm putting you in cuffs, whatever. I'm like, all right. I mean, you don't need to though. Like, I'm not. Can you put them in front of me and not behind me? I'm not a criminal, right? Am I being arrested for anything?
Right.
No, boom, in the cuffs immediately.
Yeah.
They start reaching through my pockets. They pull out 2 vape pens. They go, we got weed here. I said, no, you don't. That's fucking hemp. I bought that shit at a gas station.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. And then they put it down and walked right the fuck past it. They literally, I said, nah, shit's hemp that came from the gas station. Oh, okay, never mind. They set it down. They keep moving along through the fucking process. They obviously find nothing. I'm not fucking transporting fucking heroin or cocaine. And then fucking, so she comes back. They put me in the back of the car. I'm sitting there. All right, come on. You can go back. I'll uncuff you. We didn't find anything. Of course you didn't fucking find anything. That's what the fuck I said, dude. I don't know why you pulled me out of the car. I didn't even act suspicious once, I don't think. The only thing that I ever fucking said was, I don't think so. Oh, you forgot? Bitch, crazy, man. So this escalation process that I went through was fucking wild. And then they pulled the keys out of my car, out of my ignition, and had them in their pocket. They put me back in my car, window completely fucking down. I'm freezing my fucking ass off in there. I'm like, yo, like, and you know you can't get out of the car or go fucking approach them and shit. You just wait. So I froze my ass off for a minute. It was just a shitty experience. And mostly I'm telling you that story so that you understand you aren't carrying fucking weed, my friends. You are carrying hemp until they change the goddamn laws, okay?
It's CBD.
This is hemp flower bought from the hemp store. Don't carry it in your pocket, probably. That's a bad idea. I couldn't imagine that being great regardless. But you put it in the fucking trunk, you put it into whatever. I mean, you're legally allowed to possess an ounce of cannabis to begin with.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. The fucking sky's the goddamn limit with this thing because you're allowed to have as much possession of fucking hemp as you want. Don't be foolish. Call it fucking hemp. Don't get yourselves in trouble. Comply while the fucking while the belted gang is there too, though.
My question is how did they handle giving you your firearm back?
Actually, you want to know the best part? She came back with it in her fingers like this, like it was some crazy thing, like she didn't want to put her fingerprints on it, or she didn't know how to handle it. Either one of them. I literally looked at her like, what in the fuck are you? Just give my shit.
Was it loaded or
no? Unchambered.
No. Okay.
Unchambered with the fucking slide locked. Yeah, slide locked open, and I was like, all right.
I saw a video the other day of CBD like handled a dude and like gave him his stuff back and like didn't include it holstered. They like left with the holster and he had to call back.
No.
And make them come back and give him his freaking holster. He was not happy. So
I was not super excited about it, but nothing came of it except for that little pink piece of paper I just pulled out of my pocket. And
they get real weird about that.
Yeah, like I said, surprisingly, everything got handled. I just wanted to tell you so that you fucking just call your shit
remember,
hemp.
it's hemp.
Just be hemp.
This was the Illinois Supreme Court heard oral arguments for 2 consolidated cases to to decide whether the aroma of cannabis alone is probable cause for law enforcement to search a vehicle. So it's still it's still probable cause for police to search your vehicle. That's why you should just remember to call it hemp.
Yep.
Both individuals were charged with not storing the found cannabis in an odor-proof container. And so there's arguments about this. This is kind of old news, but, they are currently arguing it in the Supreme Court. Hopefully we can get that law changed, because the laws are not I don't think they're going to ease up.
No. They're trying to find a way to monetize DUIs with this thing too. They're trying to find a way to, whether it be, and my guesstimation is they're going to try to do some fucking oral swab thing. But even then, that's fucked up, because if you don't like brush your teeth and shit, that shit can stay in your mouth for like 24 hours or something.
We reported that Minnesota was doing that test of, they had like 1,600 kits or something that they were going to test out.
Might be.
But I mean, there's still reports that like that stuff really doesn't work.
Right. No, and I'm on board. I don't think it works. But I it's just how long the residual cannabinoid content is left around. Like, depending on how you've ingested it, it could be substantially longer. And like, so you mean to tell me that if you oral swab, you're only telling me that people who smoke cannabis are bad? Because you could eat it, you could swallow a pill of it, and it wouldn't register in your mouth.
Correct.
So now
you could have some tincture.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
and that might
tincture.
leave some residue in the mouth depending on how they swabbed you, whatever. But you could literally just knock it back and it wouldn't. I don't know. It feels weird. How are you going to make a test that actually tests for THC? How relatively long ago I don't know. There's got to be like a time thing. You're like in the peak of intoxication, right? Because that's how they do it with alcohol. That 0.08 is supposed to be where you start to become intoxicated, according to them.
Maybe they could take some of that medicinal application tax money and fund a study for that.
Yeah.
That might be a actual good use of funds. I'm sure they've got some extra.
Hey, they could fund support dope people.
Yeah, supportdopepeople.com.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a thing that's been.
I actually know somebody who works on this.
Really?
Yeah. It's yeah.
Cannabis is no longer contraband in every circumstance, Ness says, but that doesn't absolve the person from following the laws that are in place. So if you are prohibited from using cannabis in a vehicle and the smell of cannabis is in that vehicle on the person in the vehicle would lead a reasonable person to believe that cannabis was used in a vehicle, then that provides probable cause to search the vehicle.
That's what they claimed at the end of it, that my car smelled like cannabis. And I said, the fuck it does. It does not.
Yeah.
I use all kinds of scent shit in my car to begin with. I don't smoke cannabis in my fucking car. I know it doesn't. But what they did see was some of my fucking peace, love, and coke bandanas sitting in the back with the little weed symbol on it. So they know, oh, look, the little weed thing. We're getting it, man. We're telling you it smells like fucking cannabis. And that's why this shit needs to go the fuck away. It's disgusting. It's a misuse of power.
Exactly.
Fuck them motherfuckers.
Shout out to the Cole Memo. I was talking to him on live the other night. He's another person advocating for allowing law enforcement to focus on things that actually matter,
Jesus.
So, home grow for all,
Yeah.
for sure. So, I mean, they just have to convince a judge that that was what they believed at the time. So as long as that makes sense, then, they're going to fuck with you. So,
yeah,
it's hemp, baby.
It's hemp, baby.
It's hemp, baby.
You guys just gotta. I think the main story to this is that anybody who listens, and actually, I promise you, from now personal experience,
Yeah.
also personal experience working in it, personal experience being on the other end of it, feeling the fucking pressure from it. This shit is fucking hemp.
Yeah.
Don't be stupid and give yourself away. Don't sell yourself out. Hold fucking true to it. If you got flower on you, it is fucking hemp, dude.
Yep.
If you've got regardless, it is fucking hemp.
I mean, you could even argue that removing it for testing, leads to degradation. So you would, always want like a on the spot test. You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
if they want to fuck with you, they're going to fuck with you. But I mean, there's still arguments to be made.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And they don't have on the spot tests. So, I don't know what happens. Maybe my hemp was too warm.
Yeah, you
guys stored
did
it improperly.
Yep.
You guys put it on a heater or something.
Yep. And I promise you, until the fucking day, and somebody might go, well, fuck, I don't want to be the example either. Nobody wants to be the fucking example. But at the end of it, you're allowed to possess, purchase, transport. I don't think you could even sell it. You can move around hemp products right now. You don't need a fucking special license to do so.
As long as they're already produced.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't be moving around barrels of raw flour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unless you bought it from someplace.
Yeah.
Just be smart. Like, there's still rules that we have to follow, and I'm not a rule follower, but like, it's kind of Wild West out there, but like, still be cool.
Yeah.
Be smart about it. Just remember.
There's not only that, like there's a lot of COAs out there nowadays that say hemp on it that would give you the,
Yeah.
I know some friends who can give you some if you need them. No, anyway, I'm not saying, but hey, it's hemp.
Hey, it's hemp.
I love hemp.
Yeah, hemp's great.
Yeah.
Turn that one off too. Hey, look, we set a new record for annual cannabis sales at 1.63 billion. B.
Yep.
This is
nice.
Yep. Announced today recreational cannabis sales for December totals of what is that? 153.
Yeah, the December total was $153,935,089, and it was topped every monthly total since legalization. Doesn't that feel weird?
Totally feels weird.
Yeah. You got to hit your end of the year projections, so then you just send a bunch of friends in to launder your cash through your big cash laundering business. Anyway, good on him.
Yeah.
Good on him.
Check out the Cole memo. He did a good discussion about Illinois market versus Michigan market.
Yeah?
Yeah, really good article.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I want to get him in touch with a couple of our friends who have hemp dispensaries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? So let's see. Sold a record 42 million cannabis items for 2023. In-state resident sales finished at 1,226,000 and out-of-state resident sales at
holy
$408 million.
Holy shit balls.
2023. $400 million out-of-state resident sales in Illinois. That's crazy.
Wow.
You need to go work out by one of them nearby states.
Yeah, state line, go by Indiana.
Yeah, go
or
by
Wisconsin, I guess, too.
Oh, yeah. Did you see? We talked about that last week. It looks like that bill is not going to pass, which is great.
Yeah.
Well, it's terrible that they don't have anything medicinally, but like state-run pharmacy marijuana. Ugh.
Yeah.
That sounds worse than Illinois.
Yeah. No, there are some. I think there's a couple of states out east, and maybe even Florida when they first started, everybody needed a pharmacist on staff.
Yep.
Ugh. What is a pharmacist now?
No, I'm not going to say anything because I don't actually know anymore. So I'm not going to piss off probably the one pharmacist that watches.
I'm not saying anything rude, but hey, listen, what do you know about cannabis? You never studied it. You never
Right.
learned it. How the fuck is a pharmacist supposed to tell you anything? They can't do tests. They can't do fucking toxicology tests right there.
Well, it's like transporter licenses. So
Touche.
you want to hear what J.B. Pritzker says?
What do you say?
From day one, my administration has put equity first to build the most accessible cannabis industry in the nation. Governor J.B. Pritzker said in a press release,
Jesus.
Our work will continue to repair past harm while providing opportunities for communities across the state and creating a more prosperous future. That's
Oh,
great.
wow.
Yeah.
What a bold statement
What
from
a bold statement.
somebody who doesn't really give a lot to this industry.
2021 totals, what, 1.3, 1.5 in 2022, 1.6.
Hold on, scroll down again. There has not been another month that has hit $150 million.
Oh, in December?
Yeah, it's the only one. Everything else has been like 140. 143 is the biggest month that we've had before, and now all of a sudden we did $10 million more in fucking cannabis sales.
I mean, somebody's making money. Is it you?
I wish it was, man.
Lucky us that we get to pursue our passions.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Here's a great one.
For the love, not the money.
For the love, not the money. Congressional researchers detail limitations of marijuana rescheduling for state markets and criminal justice reform. Yeah. So this is about what will actually happen when and if rescheduling happens. Cool. Mr. CB is on his way.
Hell yeah.
Cool. So as the Drug Enforcement Administration weighs a marijuana rescheduling recommendation from health officials, congressional researchers are laying out the limitations of the policy change, emphasizing that state cannabis markets would continue to run afoul of federal law and existing criminal penalties for certain marijuana-related activity would remain in force. So this is talking about rescheduling from Schedule 1, no accepted medical use, to Schedule 3, limited medical use and regulated by the FDA and other state and government agencies. In a report published on Tuesday, the Congressional Research Service explained the legal consequences of moving cannabis from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3 of the Controlled Substances Act, as the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services has advised the DEA to do following its comprehensive scientific review. Comprehensive.
Would love to see it.
There was a whole thing, I think didn't we talk about it, that they had released it based on
Did they?
FOIA? Yeah.
I didn't. Maybe we did, but
Moving marijuana from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3 without other legal changes would not bring the state legal, medical, or recreational marijuana industry into compliance with federal controlled substances law, CRS said. With respect to medical marijuana, a key difference between placement in Schedule 1 and 3 is that the substances in Schedule 3 have an accepted medical use and may lawfully be dispensed by prescription, while substances in Schedule 1 cannot. However, in order for marijuana to be legally prescribed, the Food and Drug Administration would need to approve its use, and plant medicines do not typically go through that approval process. We don't need more government agencies regulating marijuana.
I mean,
We need less.
yeah. Now we've got fucking the DEA that has to do it, so that the FDA can. Yeah, all these three letters.
But the DEA
suck.
said, hey, don't worry. It's still our choice.
Yeah.
Unelected people in a three-letter agency.
Yep.
No oversight.
Yep.
Anyway, moreover, if one or more marijuana products obtained FDA approval, manufacturers and distributors would need to register with DEA and comply with the regulatory requirements that apply to Schedule 3 substances in order to handle those products. Users of medical marijuana would need to obtain valid prescription for the substances from medical providers subject to federal legal requirements that differ from existing state regulatory requirements for medical marijuana.
And that's my other thing with this. It feels weird is what qualifying list of conditions would they allow? So then you would then allow it for, because different states have different qualifying conditions. Some of them being like anxiety or depression or fucking, some of them it's headaches, right? Like if you get headaches, you're whatever. There's no way that if a 3-letter gets a hold of it that they're going to allow the vastness of approvable conditions to be around. So then people who are now medicinally using cannabis would then not be medicinally using cannabis because you again are you can tell what it's used for medically or not. I don't know. It's just such a bunch of bullshit.
I think when we started talking about this a few months ago, I think, the only way is descheduling.
That's it.
It's
the only thing that makes fucking sense, especially with the way that they allowed the different states to go about doing their shit to begin with. Because right now there is no consistency from state to state. There's nothing. There's little.
Nor should there be
nuance. There's little things
there should be. Not what I'm saying is that states should be allowed to make their own rules.
100%.
That's the way that America is actually supposed to work.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You're supposed to, if you don't like where you live, you don't like the rules where you live, move to a state where you like the rules.
Right.
Vote in those states.
Right.
Be those communities of people collectively thinking and doing the same things. Or work within your area or your community to change things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with you there.
So, importantly, the report explains that only certain criminal penalties depend on the schedule in which a substance is classified, while others are specific to marijuana and would not automatically change with the Schedule 3 reclassification. If marijuana were moved to Schedule 3, applicable penalties for some offenses would be reduced, it says. However, CSA penalties that apply to activities involving marijuana specifically, such as quantity-based mandatory minimum sentences discussed above, would not change as a result of rescheduling. So basically, they can still put you behind bars for a plant because let's break it down and be honest about what it is that we're not giving the Lord part of the money that they have decided that all transactions with this plant we must tithe them because they're allowing us a transaction with a plant that grows naturally on the earth.
Yeah, no, it's
I mean, that's
that's
like the most basic way I can say it. And so, while we do work within what they allow us, I mean, that doesn't mean that it can't change. We can still cry out. We can still affect other things and let them know that we don't agree, and we're not going to allow that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I just don't see how this works out at all. It almost has to be descheduled and allow the states to run whatever fucking programs they want.
There is a way to do that. Regardless of what scheduling decision is ultimately made, CRS said the Justice Department would continue to be blocked from interfering in state medical cannabis programs under an appropriations rider that Congress has annually renewed each year since 2014, probably tied to like a war bill or a
omnibus, I think.
Omnibus bill that, whatever they want to put in there. Thus, as long as the current rider remains in effect, participants in the state legal medical marijuana industry who comply with state law would be shielded from federal prosecution. So the government, that's actually the right thing to do, saying that, hey, you're your own state and you can do whatever you want. You know what I mean? As long as you've made the rules and you've regulated it and those people follow those rules, I'm sure they have some say in it. You know what I mean? But, we're not going to come attack you, which is good. There was a time where, even in the Obama era, where they were raiding medical
Yeah, that
marijuana
show's fucked up.
dispensaries. You remember that?
I do.
Obama's DEA
Yep.
raided medical marijuana dispensaries in California.
Yep. 100%. I remember it.
Legal medical marijuana. They were still shutting them down. It was
Yep.
it was a thing.
Yep.
And that's
Savage.
and that's what people don't remember. The federal government came and
Strong arm the fuck out.
put guns in people's faces,
Yep.
ruined people's lives. I
Yep.
mean, I'm sure. I think there were some casualties at some point. I'm sure. I doubt. You know
I
what I
don't
mean?
remember any.
People had to have been harmed, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't remember any directly, but I definitely know that I remember there were plenty of videos of it, and I remember them high-fiving and shit after throwing kids on the
Bush and
ground
Reagan
shit.
eras. I mean, not everybody is as old as I am, but I'm not super old, but I remember Bush and Reagan barely eras, where drugs, it was the war on drugs. That's what they talked about on the news, the war on drugs, potheads.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the researchers also offered considerations for Congress, stating that if lawmakers want to change the legal status of marijuana, it has broad authority to do so before or after the DEA makes any scheduling decision. That's what I mean. Congress could change this. The president could change this.
Yeah.
And
Which is possible still too.
It is possible, but I mean, what I'm saying is that Obama could have changed this.
Yeah.
Trump could have changed this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Biden could have changed this.
Yeah.
Easily. So could Congress. But they don't want to because they want to make sure that they get rich.
Yeah. Mitch McConnell's been pushing the shit out of it for a while.
Because now he's involved with marijuana companies.
Yeah.
It listed a number of existing legislative proposals that would relax federal regulation of marijuana, while noting that Congress could also seek to impose more stringent controls. True. It could also raise additional legal questions. The FDA regulates certain cannabis products under the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, so Congress might also consider whether to alter that regulatory regime or create some alternative regulatory framework. In addition, relaxing the CSA's restriction on marijuana could implicate the United States' international treaty obligations, whatever that means. I might actually research that more because that's interesting. It probably has to do with allowing hemp to be imported, because that was my guesstimation at it too. I don't know. That would screw our whatever existing market that we do have for industrial hemp. In September, CRS released a related analysis that focused on how rescheduling would have broad implications for federal policy in areas such as taxes, housing, immigration, military eligibility, gun rights, and more. Researchers also assess that it's likely the DEA will abide by the HHS recommendation based on past precedent. HHS finally released the full recommendation and scientific findings it shared with the DEA last week, and HHS Secretary Javier Herrera said his agency has communicated their position on marijuana rescheduling to DEA and has continued to offer additional information to assist with the final determination. So basically, everybody is still working on it. And if they really wanted to change it, they could change it.
Yeah, and they should.
Our Attorney General, Kwame Raoul, was one of the 12 attorney generals that implored the DEA to move forward with federal marijuana rescheduling. The only thing that's going to change is that marijuana businesses will be able to deduct business expenses on their IRS.
Yeah.
That's what's going to change.
Yep.
Nothing else is going to change. They're still going to put you in jail.
Yep.
If you're
that's all.
A
that's
drug
all
dealer.
They've been trying to figure out for a long time is how they can have some tax write-offs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because as of right now, I don't believe dispensaries, at least in Illinois, and I'm pretty sure it's across the board, then aren't allowed to write off their employees as an expense. And there's something in cultivation too that they're big chunks of what they do, but because it's against something federal, they're not allowed to get the same tax write-off.
So it's just, I mean, And fair, I guess. I don't. I think all taxation is theft, but I mean, so like, I feel like if you should be able to write off business expenses. You know what I mean? Like, I'm for it, but like that's literally the only thing that would change for, descheduling it
That's
or
right.
rescheduling it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the main reason that's Mitch McConnell's whole thing is what do you call it? The fucking Marijuana Tax Act or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah. There's a bill released yesterday that changes the wording of the part of the tax act having to do with medical marijuana, and now changing it to the Illinois. Here, let me pull it up right now. So, Illinois House proposes amendment for medical cannabis taxes.
Okay.
Representative Sonia Harper introduced the first cannabis amendment of the new legislative session. House Bill 4465 provisions concerned rate of taxes for registered medical cannabis patients. So you have to pay attention to the wording here, and you have to actually read it about 100 times and be a lawyer to figure it out.
Yeah.
But what I believe, it just changes some of the wording. The first additional wording in House Bill 4465 includes, beginning on January 1st, 2026, prescription and non-prescription medicine and drugs includes cannabis or cannabis-infused products purchased from a dispensing organization under the Cannabis Regulation and Tax Act by a cardholder as defined under Section 10 of the Compassionate Use of Medical Cannabis Act. Those are two different things. The Cannabis Regulation Tax Act is recreational marijuana as we know it.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
And the Compassionate Use of Medical Cannabis Act is the med side of cannabis. And that was the first bill and then the second bill.
Correct.
And the second bill changed a part of the first bill, and now here they are changing the first bill again. After the wording as used in this section, adult use cannabis means cannabis subject to tax under the Cannabis Cultivation Privilege Tax Law and the Cannabis Purchaser Excise Tax Law, and does not include cannabis. The new provision deletes the words subject to tax under the Compassionate Use of Medical Cannabis Programmed Act and replaces them with or cannabis infused products sold to a cardholder as defined under Section 10 of the Compassionate Use of Medical Cannabis Act.
Wow. The fucking few slights of words, the change of a few words makes it just that much.
Right.
Yeah.
Subject to tax.
Fuck law, dude.
So
This
the
shit's...
new provision deletes the words subject to tax under the Compassionate Use of Medical Cannabis Programmed Act, end quotation. Okay? So they're taking away that at one point this was subject to tax under the Medical Cannabis Programmed Act, which is something they have basically all but forgotten, and replaces it with quotations or cannabis-infused products sold to a cardholder as defined under Section 10 of the Compassionate Use of Medical Cannabis Act.
It's all for taxing.
It's all for taxing.
Yeah.
It also amends the Retailer's Occupation Tax Act. In a provision concerning the rate of tax, provides that the definition prescription and non-prescription medicine and drugs includes cannabis or cannabis-infused products purchased from a dispensing organization under the Cannabis Regulation and Tax Act by a cardholder under the Compassionate Use of Medical Cannabis Act.
Moral of this story is, unless you're very smart and want to read a bunch of words in the most detail that you'll ever look at every one of the words so that you can look at every angle that it possibly could be used. The law of this shit is very annoying. Even when I fucking did it because the state administrative code, which is what dispensing organizations have to live up to, these dispensing organizations build a SOP. It's a standard operating procedure that they then submit to the state, and that is how their license is awarded typically, because you have complied with all of the things that is stated in the state's fucking laws. So
Yep.
as long as you,
Which is what the government says. In their writer says, as long as you follow what the state has regulated in this industry,
and it's all
we
with
won't come against you.
little slight interpretable words.
Correct.
And
how much can I interpret before I get in trouble?
that's where I've talked about in the past what places are allowed to get away with compared to what the state law says, because within the state regulatory thing, it says that you're allowed to have a 15% industry sway. But what is that? What does that define at the end of it? What does it ultimately mean? And does it mean that you get to have 15% of the actual volume? So if it was a 20% plant, you could 15% of that would be either what is it, fucking 3% up or 3% down, right? So you're
Right.
either 17 or 23. That's 15%.
Right.
Or does that mean that you can go to 5% or 35%? And that is what the full volume of the plant now is, because it was interpreted, and it still can be interpreted, and that's why there's such blown out numbers in the state, because there's a 15% sway. And I don't believe that when they first initially said this, that they wanted it to be interpreted that way. I'd imagine that if it was 20%, you could be fucked up. It could be 17 or it could
Right.
be 23 because of, again.
But as we understand it, that's not what's important in cannabis.
No, but
to use it.
And that's the thing, is that now we use that as a measurement for what people get taxed on.
Right.
So it was almost beneficial for the dispensary cultivation group for a minute. And then the state came back and said, oh yeah, go ahead, keep calling it 35% fucking weed. We're just going to tax you more.
Right.
And then bazinga, now all of a sudden, all this game, it's like a back and forth, a little tug of war of words specifically. And it's just so that the state can take more taxes, or the fucking, and it's just a game that you're playing to interpret law, whatever. It sucks.
And that's why I say in the long run, I don't think any way is the wrong way when you grow, because it all depends on your circumstance.
That's it.
The MSOs only get away with what the government lets them get away with, is what you were trying to say. Just like we can only get away with what they let us get away with. You know what I'm saying?
And the other thing is too, the 99.8% of the time that you're operating where there is no state official breathing down your fucking back, operate however the fuck you want.
Right.
So long as your inventory matches up and it doesn't seem like you're doing anything out of order, then perfectly fine. Do whatever the fuck you want.
Well,
but that 2%, that 0.2% of the time when the fucking state is in your fucking facility, are you sewed up enough to where, because a lot of those people are just, they're law interpreters, right? Or they read their fucking side of the law.
It's like dealing with the health department.
It's literally it.
They're like, hey,
literally.
yeah,
Well, a lot of it is IDPH or IDFPR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
ISP.
Yeah. ISP, dude, I'll tell you what. From my experience, every single ISP guy that ever came through was fucking incredible.
Yeah.
They were great people most of the time. And then, some of these inspectors.
I used to ride motorcycles with some ISP guys.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah.
Fun times.
Yeah, no, I've had incredible times, and even then, the state inspectors, I didn't have that big of an issue with them anyway, because I was so sewn up. I could, I could play both sides of it. I even sleight of hands a few of them people so that we got away with some shit. But it's all just, getting caught or not. Hopefully you don't get caught.
It's hemp.
As of right now, it's hemp. That's
hemp.
what you all need to understand. It's a main.
Put it in a separate container, put it in your back seat.
Put it in your trunk. Just
put
make
it in your
easy
trunk.
for yourself.
If you don't have a trunk, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, put it in your back seat, make it inaccessible to yourself while driving.
Yeah.
And then there's at least hey, it is inaccessible to me. There's like, I got a bunch of I got my shoes and 3 coats over it. So like, I can't even grab it while I'm driving. I don't know what you're talking about.
And don't. Just practice in the mirror a time or two.
Yeah.
Don't get choked up. Don't get out there and go, when was the last time you were transporting weed? I don't do that.
Yeah.
Everything is, I just don't do that shit.
I'm sorry, we don't answer questions.
I don't even do that. I just know. No is the answer. Answer correctly, You know what answer they want. And what they want you to do is get caught up.
Yes.
But as long as you go, hey, I don't know any different. I'm just dumb citizen. You're the smart cop guy with the belt. And
It's
shit.
not their job to interpret the law. It is not their job to interpret the law. They're not your friend.
Yeah.
Don't talk to the police.
No, I would just
They're
make
not
it
your
easy.
friend. They rely on you being nervous and them catching
100%.
Know your rights. Know your rights.
Bingo.
Carry around a mini farm bill. I really actually need to get
That
that
would be
done.
funny.
I need to get that done.
That would be funny as hell. God damn it, that's good.
Like a pocket farm bill.
Yeah.
A pocket know your rights.
Yep. Little THCA or just THC 0.3% or less.
Yeah.
This is hemp.
Yep.
Yeah.
Something to think about. But
God
don't
damn.
just be confident, be smart. Don't get lazy because they rely on you being lazy and getting caught up. If you're a licensed medicinal home grower, keep your plant count low unless you're legally allowed to do so. And, play by the old rules. Don't tell everybody, don't broadcast what you're doing, where you're at. You know what I mean? Don't keep a schedule. Alternate it. Be smart. Because
it's not to lean at the end. You ain't gotta be paranoid as shit.
no, you don't have
It's
to be
just being-
paranoid. I'm just saying these are good operating
being prepared.
procedures. Yeah, be prepared.
being prepared. And I'm just telling you, this is what you need to work into your routine. It's hemp, sir. Ma'am. Yeah, that's it.
It's hemp.
Just practice
It's
that a couple of
CBD hemp.
times, and then the next time you just, I've been practicing. I got put on the spot. They said, "Showtime, motherfucker," and I said, "It's hemp." And then look at me sit here now with a pink piece of paper that means nothing. So,
Too bad you didn't have like a business card to give them.
I mean, luckily they probably could have got one if they just reached into the center there. Yeah, fucking assholes.
Yeah.
Hey, good show.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah. So, hell yeah, we love you. Smoke weed every day. Be smart.
Yeah, hey, thanks for listening and watching. If you got this far,
Yeah.
you're a fucking real one. And I appreciate you. Now just don't forget on the way out, hit the thumbs up and the like
Thumbs
and the
up.
subscribe.
Subscribe. Tell
Hey,
your friends.
That's
please.
maybe tell a friend.
Yeah, please.
You want to listen to my friends talk about cannabis?
Yeah.
Here's their link, Try it out.
Yeah, try it out.
Try them out is what I mean.
Try it out. You
It's
might
us.
like it.
Maybe,
Yeah.
hey, maybe you'll like it.
Maybe you like it. Thank you. Peace.
Yo, ding dong, we're done here. Time to go.